Good night, everybody. Good night. I hope everything is okay. I hope, I don't know, you will have a good weekend. It's almost finished the weekend. Here, give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. Perfect. Okay. Well, I hope you will have a good weekend. It's almost finished. Sunday is 9 and 2 p.m. And today I'm going to share with you interesting information because I want to be honest with you. This topic is born because I heard in different expats group or people, foreign people who I hear in speaking with them about this situation by deportation. Yes, it's really in Mexico happened this famous deportation or the famous phrase who always say people who you know they thinking that in Mexico everything is possible. Yes, because it's weird or it's completely rare. Then Mexico apply their power law in foreigners people. Yes, in certain foreigners people. But this topic, I made this topic because I I would like to share with you the accurate information. Yes, I'm going to do the best, share this information, share this sensible information with you because it's very important. After finish this YouTube live, you will make your decision if maybe deportation is happened to Mexico or not. Okay? But you need to understand something. Right now, this information who I'm going to share with you is about Mexican migration law and the real life. Yes, I'm going to divide in different scenarios. I'm going to speak with you what say Mexican migration law and what say the reality in Mexico. Because Mexican migration law say everything. Yes, say everything about you need to follow those rules. But really, those articles, the Instituto Nacional de Migración or National Migration Institute Mexican really apply the rules in Mexico in certain foreigners people. Honestly, it's a very interesting topic. But well, I'm going to show you my screen after finish this introduction in this topic. Give me a second. Because, who knows, have this fear and will be deported for this institute because maybe you overstay your document because that document led you to being here in Mexico legally. But when you overstay that document, you got that worries about, okay, I am illegal. My document is expired. What happened? Honestly, what happened? Because I heard for any kind of expat people who they say, in Mexico, my document is expired for 1 year, 2 years. Instituto Nacional de Migración, they didn't do anything about me. But you need to understand something in this information. I'm going to show you a statistic about really happened that immigration deportate people, deportate foreigners who they have document expired here in my country. This is the biggest wondering for foreigners about overstay their documents. Um, Deportation and assisted return in Mexico. What the law says was reality. That is the intention in this um, presentation in this YouTube live. I'm going to respond you to this question. What does say the law, the Mexican migration law? Because maybe you know in general, or maybe you didn't know about Mexican migration law, but it's important if you are resident or maybe you are a tourist, and you need to know about deals and regulation. Yes, because each country they have their own migration law. If those institute follow those rules, but each country apply those rules according their ideology. Yes, it's not the same the migration law in USA than in Mexico, than Canada, than France, than Honduras, than Argentina, than Chile. I don't know. But you need to understand something. Mexico have their own Mexican migration law, and that and rules give you certain knowledge that you need to know if you want to live here and if you want to follow the correct path in this country. Yes, if you know it, nobody lied you about information because there are a lot immigration facilitators who helping you get your residency. Yes, that is maybe something general, but the biggest snowball is the law because this law say you everything that you need to know. How Instituto Nacional de Migración works with you. How Mexican consulate works with you. Yes, it's important to know it. It's important why they make those decisions with you. And sometimes immigration facilitators say you about what you need to hear, but sometimes that decision is not about you. It's because maybe you didn't follow the correct path, the correct documents when you want to apply for any um, immigration process. Yes, let's go to continue. Sorry because my throat is dry and I got sick in the last week. Well, I am healing my body. I healing my throat. Well, I'm going to do the best to share this information. And this topic divides in different scenarios of the presentation of foreigners, immigration stations, assisted return, and deportation. The headline is Mexican migration law. Is I'll forget the last sentence, how to obtain your resident card, because it's not the topic. I forget to delete that sentence. But this topic, you know, it is about deportation. Yes, it's about what about the last page, deportation and assisted return in Mexico. What the law says, but reality. Okay, let's go to let's start to the first point of the presentation of foreigners. Maybe this is you see those kinds of image who I'm going to share in this presentation, but this is what happened in the reality when immigration staff they put certain immigration team in random place, yes, in random spot who they make verification or they make review and catch people who they are maybe they have um, document expired, yes. When immigration team, immigration staff notice it, they they have that faculty to return or yes, hold back your way and take it and take you and get in those official vehicle about immigration and they go you to immigration station. Yes, this is an example. But the first point is of the presentation of foreigners. Before of the presentation, I'm going to explain with you what do you mean presentation in the Mexican migration law. But at this point is before Instituto Nacional de Migración put you in any institute, in immigration station or any place, official institute who they need to, you know, count you. It sits certain ways who this institute hold on people, yes, retain people, okay? The first point is about immigration verification. What do you mean, immigration verification? According to those articles and who I share with you in this presentation, 92, 94, 95, 96, in the Mexican migration law, in this in these rules, say the institute will carry out verification visit to verify that foreigners who are in national territory comply with the obligation provide for this law and regulations. Yes, but to be honest with you, immigration verification say in our law, in Mexican immigration law. Yes, but this option doesn't apply in all the states here in my country. It's not the same like I don't know, maybe USA, for example, who they goes in schools, in church, in home, in any place to find people. Yes, Mexico have another, you know, path to make a verification. Yes, but when immigration, Instituto Nacional de Migración make verification, is because they have a justification, a motivate to make this statement. Yes, this official statement about making verification in any place. when they have a justification and a statement document who you know have a source to make that activity, it goes to any place and find foreigners people who they are illegal here in my country, is because they are obnoxious people. Yes, it's not for because maybe you are a lone person, you live in any place, and Instituto Nacional Migración comes with you. It's not like this, but nowadays, maybe you hear this information. Nowadays, Instituto Nacional de Migración, they are more strict in follow the rules. Yes, don't overestimate this way, immigration verification, because I don't know if in this year, 2025, Instituto Nacional de Migración really apply this option and find you if you are not illegal, but if you are irregular here in my country, and maybe they help you and fix that problem, or maybe they return you in your country. Yes, this is the point. But this is the first option. When immigration, international migration, make made this verification, all the people who cash in that place percentage then in an immigration station. Yes. Sorry. This is an example. For example, this is a news about this way. I'm going to read in Spanish and after translate in English. INM, o Instituto Nacional de Migración, realiza verificación migratoria a 104 personas localizadas en una vivienda de Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua. NMI made immigration verification to one 400 people located in a place in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua. This news is in 2024, in May. Okay, it's not for longer time, 1 year. But what happened nowadays in this year? And in this example, I show you that Instituto Nacional de Migración made this path and find foreigners who they are irregular here in my country, but it's in a biggest group of people, yes, and 100 people located in a site in a spot, yes, who they are irregular here in my country. However, they have a justification and motivation to make this way immigration verification. Okay, that is my example. The second way, this is the most common. This honestly, this way is happens nowadays, always in different states here in my country. This is more common. Is immigration review. Maybe you got this experience when you go to other state here in my country, and when you are in the limit about certain states, always there are group of authorities include in immigration staff who they you know and revise cars, revise people, and they stop bus, particular car, or any you know machine, any vehicle who they notice that in that vehicle there are foreigners, and immigration staff made their duty to revise the documents. Okay, maybe you got this experience, but if not, this way is common to in this institute because according to these articles 1997, 1998, those activities they need to be justification. They need to make a justification, a motivation in made these reviews. Yes, but those reviews, according this paragraph, is in addition to the established place for the international transit of people, the institute might carry out immigration reviews within the national territory to verify the immigration status of foreigners. Yes, what do you mean? I told you before in the beginning. There are people who they say, hey, in Mexico or Instituto Nacional de Migración, they don't deport people. My document is overstay. Yes, immigration, they don't do or they don't go to my home in Kashmir. Yes, I told you before. One people is no reliable. Yes, but a bunch of the people is more reliable because it's an and a small society who they are irregular here in my country and they need to balance that problem. But in this case, for immigration review, no matter what is your nationality, they stop your way if your document is overstayed, is expired. Yes, maybe those people who they say, hey, in Mexico doesn't happen anything about immigration. Maybe they didn't live in that state. Yes, of if they live in that state, they live in certain highway who is not common to find those kinds of people. Yes, immigration staff who they make reviews in certain spot here in my country. But believe me, if they pass in that scenario when they are officers, authorities, marine, soldiers, police, and immigration staff. And they know this more immigration staff because immigration staff they have that faculty to stop you and retain your documents. Yes, not the marine, not the soldiers, not the police. Immigration staff they have that faculty to stop your way. Yes, you need to know it. That immigration staff notice that you are irregular or maybe not irregular. You are illegal because I told you in another YouTube live. When you have a document expired, you have 60 days in fix your status, immigration status here in my country. But if you don't fix that problem, okay, right now you are illegal because you don't have a document. Your document is completely um, doesn't yes it exists, but you pass the limit about renew your irregularization here in my country in this institute. Yes, but if they know this that your documents is expired, they retain you. Yes, they catch you and comes with you to an immigration station. Yes, you need to know it. That really is happening. Sorry. But well, that is the point. Immigration is this institute. They don't come to home, but if you come with them in any spot when they are, maybe if you document it expired, they have difficulty. Okay, but well, that is another way to maybe deport people or assist and return people in their countries, in their own countries. Okay, but well, this is an example, and this example, you know it. There are soldiers, marine, police. In addition, include immigration staff. Yes, because their duty is, I read you, review foreigners about immigration status. Yes, this is very common here in my country. It's very common for them. Um, don't play easy ways or don't believe in that, you know, belief about people who say in Mexico doesn't happen nothing about deportation. Say them, hey, go to the immigration and this institute and tell them, hey, I am irregular, I am illegal. Believe me, immigration staff catch them and make them any alternative to fix that problem if those person and fall into certain categories and renew or well in get and will get illegal here in my country, immigration staff return them to their own country. Okay, but it's happened. Maybe they are completely, you know, overconfident. In Mexico doesn't happen anything. But well, in 1 year, 2 years, maybe they got document expired. Yes, but maybe they do it because they in several months apply for that famous earning program that you know it nowadays is more strict. Nobody is easy to apply in this earning program. Yes, and nowadays it's more difficult. Well, that's his example. Now, I told you before presentation, immigration and Instituto Nacional de Migración make an verification or review. Okay, in those scenarios, when they catch you, they presentate you in their own institute. Yes, I got to read. Let me explain. To the measure dictated by the institute through which the temporary accommodation of a foreigner who does not prove his or her immigration status is agreed upon for the regularization of his stay or a system for return. Yes, this paragraph, you are able to find it in his law. Yes, in this rule. Article 3, fraction 20, 24. Sorry. But explain more in those articles 99 and 100. They explain more information who I don't read you right now because it's not this YouTube live will be completely longer. I don't want it to take your time. Yes, but you are able, if you know Spanish, go to read those articles 99 and 100. But if not, buy this. Give me a second. I'm going to show me. Buy this book. You are able to find it in Amazon. This is the reading, Mexican Immigration Law. But and got the information. It's important for you. Okay, well, and when you presentate in immigration station about this institute, you have two options. They immigration staff try find with you an option or alternative to regularize your situation. Yes, but it depends of you because if you fall into certain categories, for example, maybe you got married with a Mexican citizen in my country, okay, that option and made you be illegal because you got your residency. Yes, you fix that irregularization. Or maybe you have children and Mexican children born here in my country. Yes, well, immigration. This institute have that faculty to help with you in you be legal here in my country. Yes, but if they know this, that you don't have or you don't fall into those categories, they say you other option. What is the other option? Is assistance for return. Yes, they say you, hey, you need to return to country. But this option, assistance for return, have certain categories who I'm going to explain with you um, in another page. Yes, but you have those options. But yeah, depend on you. Depend on if you got your documents. Depend if you it's easy for them to find you in their system. Yes, but well, in here depend a lot for any foreigner. Yes. Well, after when you present made that presentation, happen this. They, Immigration, Instituto Nacional de Migración, presentate you in those areas, estación migratoria, station migration. And you will be in that station, migratory station, depend your situation. Maybe in 15 business days and no more than 60 business days. Depend on you. Yes, it's important for you when you get out in any in any spot here in my country. You need to bring your documents, your passport, your resident card, or if you are a tourist, you know that you are tourist here in my country, and that famous permit. Always in any place you need to bring those documents because if not, that's it an excuse for immigration staff retain you for longer days, 50 days, or maybe mm, more than 60, no more than 60 business days. Okay, but we are going to explain with you why happens those kinds of situations to retain you for longer days. To explain more, but that is example. They presented you in those immigration stations. They exist here in my country. Exists according this institute 52 immigration station here in my country. Yes, and you need to know it. But what is the famous assumptions? Assumptions occur when they present with you in an immigration station. For example, that is the more common. The first is because there is no reliable information about your identity. Because maybe you don't bring your documents, and no matter what, when you say correctly your name, well, they appear in that system, but it's your obligation as resident, as tourists, bring your documents. Yes, they made their job or their duty to retain you. Well, you need to show your information. But if you are not bring your documents, if you are not, you know, like at the first sentence, there is no reliable information about your identity, they return you for those days. Told you. The second point is because maybe they trying to find information about you in your consulate. Yes, in your own consulate, they call. It depend the information and who take time to send that information to Instituto Nacional de Migración. That situation retain you in a migration station. Yes. The second point is because maybe they apply with you in a system return in exceeds an impediment to travel itinerary to the destination. There are a lot of circumstances, maybe exceeds some problem, maybe any excuse, they return you in that place. And the last point is because maybe you hire an immigration lawyer, you notice that they broken your human rights, and you make an amparo, for example, and when your lawyer, the immigration lawyer, submit an amparo to Instituto Nacional de Migración, while that amparo is working, they retain you. Yes, but well, there's another circumstance. But well, that is the excuse of the certain categories who you are or maybe foreigner are for longer time in that immigration station because they fall into those points. Yes, that way. My recommendation for you: always bring your documents. Another immigration station in Villahermosa. Okay, now let's go to and share with you assisted return. How or what do you mean assisted return? According Mexican immigration law, assisted return is the procedure by which the National Migration Institute makes a foreigner leave the national territory, sending him or her to his or her country of origin or habitual residence. That's me. Yes. In this article, 3, fraction and 19, 19. No, no, no. Sorry. 29. 29. Sorry. It's a Roman number. But well, how you can got an assisted return? Yes, because maybe I told you you don't fall into certain categories to fit your immigration status. Yes, um, National Migration Institute propose you that option. Yes, assisted return. But what is the category to get you this point? Assisted return, according to the article, in 11800, fraction 1 and 2, they give you this option when they are irregularly in the national territory at the disposal of the institute and there is no legal restriction issued by a competent authority for them to leave the country. Okay, you are irregular. You you don't you are not able to apply for certain categories. They give you this assistant return. The benefits for this option, and always I know this in certain YouTubes for foreigners, people who say, Mexico deport me, but the next day return again to enter in Mexico. Yes, in that famous information who Mexico deported me, but the next day or the same day return again to Mexico and become legal, is because maybe they they were um, assisted return, not deport. It's completely different because assisted return, according the article, this article number 2, they don't put you a restriction to come to my country again. No, this is an option for you. Yes, but if you have the opportunity to come again, come to Mexico again, you can. Yes, this is point. But don't confuse because deportation is another alternative who I'm going to explain with you in another page. But don't believe in certain foreigners who they say deportation doesn't exist in Mexico because look, they they give me I'm sorry, they return to my country. Well, I am here again. Yes, the next day I am here. That famous deportation here in Mexico doesn't exist. But yes, it exists. But maybe they got an assisted return. Please don't confuse. Assisted return, the National Immigration Institute, Mexican, and find itinerary to return you in your country, origin country, or where you got a residency, or you are residency. They find all the resources to return you. Okay, that is the option. But well, this is a good example who is immigration staff return certain foreigners who they were not able to regularize their immigration status. Now, deportation. What do you mean deportation? Deportation, according in the article, I forget to put the article, but is the article 144 and 100 and in Mexican immigration law. But before, sorry, before in the article 143, explain that in paragraph who I put in this presentation is a measure dictated by the institute by which the departure of a foreigner from the national territory is ordered and the period during which he or she might not re-enter the national territory is determined. You notice that it's completely different. A system return, they don't put you determination to enter in my country. A system return is more friendly. But deportation, no. If you fall in deportation, Instituto Nacional de Migración put you on determination in return to my country. Yes, in re-enter to my country. Maybe depend the category dependent period. Yes, I'm going to explain you more. But for example, um, but deportation, what is the circumstance who Instituto Nacional de Migración deportate people, deportate foreigner people? Because it's completely confused for, I told you before, they thinking, "Oh, okay, Instituto Nacional de Migración, um, National Migration Institute Mexican, they deport me, but the next day return, return Mexico again." Okay, that option is not a deportation. It's an assisted return. Deportation is more dangerous for you, for your background, and you need to make a procedure when Instituto Nacional de Migración gave you a deportation. Yes, in the article 144 in this Mexican migration law, explain the circumstance. The first is you have enter entered without the required documentation. Imagine that immigration office give you a deportation and they determine with you don't return in my country for 1 year, but you don't respect it. Yes, maybe in 1 month, 2 months, you comes to Mexico and through the immigration review or immigration verification, and they notice that you got um, official deportation. For that situation, they return again and they give you more time to return in my country. Or maybe you cross in the border for USA or for Guatemala or for Belize. Maybe in those places they are not strict to make verification, and you through. Yes, and you are living your life here in Mexico, but one day you pass in an immigration review for any spot when there are marine soldiers, police, and immigration staff, and they notice that you before are deported. That problem affects you. Believe me. The second point is having been deported and without readmission agreement. Okay, you complete your determined time who this institute give you because they deport you. You need to make another procedure before before um before comes to Mexico. You need to go to you need to go to Mexican consulate in your country and make a procedure and obtain readmission agreement. Yes, it's another procedure, but you need to do it before trip in my country. The second point is because maybe, I'm sorry, I'm foreign and say, hey, I am Mexican, I am Mexican, I am Mexican, I am Mexican. When they cross in an immigration verification and they say, I am Mexican, really? You are Mexican? Yes, I am Mexican. Okay, show me your documents that you are Mexican. You don't have documents. Okay, for that, um, you know, how to say that? Kidding, for example. Um, that situation gives you a deportation because you present as Mexican, but you are not Mexican. You need to be careful when you say that. This is the another option. The next point is background criminal or criminal background. Sorry, maybe I make no, it's a mistake. But no matter what, you got a criminal background in Mexico or abroad, you have a bad background, they deported you. Yes, because you are dangerous for my country, and this institute doesn't let you to enter in my country. Yes, or maybe you commit a crime here in my country, and the authority competent catch you, make a process with you, and criminal law, for example, and after when you complete that, you deportate, yes, because you are not good person here in my country, or maybe or in abroad. Yes, that the immigration is when you make a procedure in any place, they revise your information before to enter my country. The next point is false information or documentation. I don't have the resources, but I hear those kinds of situation in certain states here in my country, who certain foreigners got false documents, overestimate Instituto Nacional de Migración for certain immigration facilitators who maybe they don't have the relevant information, accurate information. If for that situation, they affect your immigration status here in my country. And if immigration office notice it, they get you or they get at that foreign and deportation. Yes. Be careful, give false document. Always. Be careful. Another point is has failed to comply with an order to leave national territory. Yes, that is related to a system return. Yes, and maybe they give you okay, in 3 days, you return, or maybe they give you a statement leave. I don't know how to say in English. Maybe I don't know if he is correct, but in Spanish is oficio de salida, who when you doesn't fall into certain categories more friendly, they give you an oficio de salida. Yes, you need to live here for 3 days or for 1 day or for 1 week. You need to live in Mexico. Yes, but that person, they don't respect those days, and they stay here in my country. Okay, for that situation, when immigration staff catch you, and they notice that you before got an oficio de salida, and you don't respect that oficio de salida, that problem or that situation, that circumstance, give you a deportation. It's important respect the rules. Yes. Well, trying to be careful in here certain advices for foreigners, for expats. It's better for you follow the rules because maybe for them doesn't happen nowadays. But you don't know in 1 month, 2 months, or maybe 1 year. Because believe me, tell them, hey, go to the immigration review or go to the immigration office and say then, hey, I am illegal. Believe me. And this institute have all the faculty to return that person in their own country. Maybe they hide in any place. Well, I told you before, immigration, this institute make verification in personal locations, yes, in personal address. Because it's not the same than in USA, who is more common for them. But here in Mexico, it's completely different. Because this institute need to follow the human rights, and they need to be completely careful when catch people, when retain foreigners. Because if no, exists the famous amparo, who certain immigration lawyers apply for solve um, to certain or any foreigners. Yes, exists immigration lawyers who helping people for those situations. Well, they are completely and careful um, in apply for immigration verification or an immigration review. Yes, but well, you need to follow the rules. Yes, that is the point. This is the difference between assisted return and deportation, because deportation, I told you before, give you a determinate and period time to re-enter in my country. For example, this information appear in the regularization regularization of Mexican migration law. Yes, because this is the law, Mexican migration law, but it exists another rule that is called regularization of the Mexican migration law. Yes, the more strict. Um, sorry, I'm going to show you because it's important for me and being, you know, honest, show you information and yeah, I got it. This is the regularization or the reglamento. Yes. Reglamento de la Ley de Migración. According this reglamento, it's in Spanish. Sorry for it, but well, I translate with you in English. But the capítulo of the chapter and eight chapters say de los criterios para determinar los periodos de restricción de ingreso al territorio nacional. Well, I'm going to show you it in English. Yes, because I translate with you in English. But well, it's in the article 244. 100. Okay, in English is the first fraction say is the foreign person entered the national territory without corresponding authorization for the secretariat. In this case is the Mexican consulate in it because it's part of this secretariat. And the restriction period will be from 1 to 5 years. Look, you see that? If you don't follow the rule when you got a reportation, they give you a restriction period to return in my country. The second point is if they have been a repeat offender, the restriction period will be from 2 to 10 years. Sorry, 2 to 10 years. If you are common person who got deportation. Yes. The 3 point is when they have violated. I don't know what is the correct pronunciation, but when you know the word national criminal law or the provision contained in international treaties and agreement to which the Mexican state is a party. The restriction period will be from 5 to 20 years. And you know that? The first point is very high street. But the last is when the foreign person, due to their background in the United Mexican state or abroad, could compromise national security or public safety, the deportation will be final. You see that? It's higher straight when this institute give you a deportation. However, it was important for me give the accurate information. It don't confuse deportation here in my country. It's not the same than on other countries because maybe for them deportation means different, but here in my country means like this. You fall into those categories. Okay, you got a deportation. But when you got a deportation, you need to you need to know this restriction period. Yes, and you need to respect those rules before return to before re-enter in my country. It's important. But well, again, don't hear mm, easy advice for foreigners who they say, "Hey, Mexico gave me a, or yes, gave me a deportation. Well, look, I am here again." The next day, return to Mexico. Immigration staff they don't retrain me or they don't limit to enter in this country. Deportation here in Mexico doesn't exist. But well, right now you know it. That person maybe got oficio de salida or assisted return, who those options they they don't give you a determination. But deportation is completely different. Deportation gives you a background in Mexican migration for certain restriction period. Right now, you know it. Yes, this is the example. When certain foreigners got a deportation, that you know it, visualize that scenario for people who they need to return with an statement document who explain that deportation. Now let's go to show you the reality life. Yes. Now I'm going to show you certain migration statistic by immigration, Instituto Nacional de Migración gave in their official website. Yes, who they show you what happened in Mexico in the real life about applying those rules in this Mexican migration law and regularization Mexican migration law. Yes, it's important for you to know it. And I want to show you my screen. Before, give me a second. I'm going to. Mhm. Ah, wow, 10 p.m. Okay, I'm going to do more quickly. I'm going to show you the first statistic. The first statistic is this one, 2022. I'm going to show you 2022, 2023, and 2024. Let's go to show you the immigration statistic 2022. This, PDF, you are able to find in micrositio. In micrositio, it sits a space or place when you are able to get those migration statistic. It's important for you to know it because this information gives you the reality what happened in Mexico. But well, let's go to show you, or let me show you this 2022. It's in Spanish, but I'm going to translate with you in English. I try, yes, because sometimes it's not easy for me to translate. But well, in this document, you are able to find all the information about immigration Mexico, or this institute, because, for example, the first headline or topic is Registro de Entradas. Enter register. Yes. In this case, this topic shows you in 2022 how many foreigners enter in my country. Yes. The second topic is about documentación y condición de estancia in Mexico. Documentation and immigration, no, I don't know, immigration status in Mexico. Yes. In this topic or headline show you people who they got their temporary residency, permanent residency, to other kinds of options. Yes. In this case, I don't show you that topic because it's not the topic. But yes, that is the topic who I'm going to show you right now. The topic is, in Spanish, is personas en situación migratoria irregular, antes extranjeros presentados y devueltos. In Spanish is immigration immigration status people, or yes, irregular, before um, presentation foreigners, to follow that, and return in their own countries. Yes, is the page 147. So to show you, yes, this is it over here. And sorry, maybe this, document is have a lot information, a lot graphics, a lot, these kinds of tables. I don't know how to say in English the correct phrase, but well, you know it. It's normal to show you this situation because, for example, okay, for example, this, I don't know, cuadro in Spanish, table, maybe, in English, and say eventos de personas en situación migratoria irregular in Mexico in 2022. You know, event for people who they were irregular, or they got an immigration status irregular here in my country in 2022. Look at this. This table show you all my states here in my country. Aguascalientes, Baja California, Baja California Sur, Campeche, Chiapas, Chihuahua, etc., etc., etc. For example, I told you before, it's important for you notice those words because those words is normal. Presentation, presentados, you know it. Presentation is when When the immigration staff catch you in immigration verification or immigration review, they presentate you in immigration station. Yes, and that is the mean. Well, canalizados is how this institute work with them, who maybe those person got a category to fix their immigration status for become legal, or maybe they got a system return. Yes, that is the point. That they are the options when you are presented when you got this option or when you fall in this option in presentation for any immigration station. Yes, in the total, general total, is according those months: January, February, March, April, May. For example, in January, the total it was 23,000. Combined it presentators or presentation and how the institute work with them. 23,000. For it depends where you live, is how those institute works. For example, in look at this in Chiapas, the immigration office worked hard. Yes, because look at this, 6,000 presentations. Yes, look at this. Another state, Tabasco, for example, they work hard too, and 1,000 presentation. He live in Yucatan. In that year, in 2022, they presented 31 people. Yes, in January. And February is different. Look at this. The same, stay. In February, is 5,000. In Tabasco, raise in 1,494. But in Yucatan, raise to the 31 to 61 presentation. Yes, it will. That is, I don't want to take more time and explain more about it. What is the point? And for example, in Yucatan, because it's my state where I live nowadays, and Yucatan is the second, is the almost the last. In Yucatan, in 2022, they presented foreigners in immigration station. The total is 7,400 presentations. Yes, this table doesn't explain what happened with them. This table explains with you, okay, in this year, in Yucatan, presented 7,400 foreigners who they were irregular here in the country, and they need to fix, or they in that year needed to fix their immigration status. Yes. Canalizados, how institute work with them is 138. 100, yeah. Give me a second. Okay. Well, canalizados means when the immigration work with them because maybe and they fall into fix their immigration status because they those foreigners in that year fall into certain categories in becomes illegal here in my country. Yeah. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I clean my noise because you know it. Okay, this is the table. I'm going to show you more information. Another table is the same, but in this case, explain about the cities. For example, Aguascalientes, it is those cities. Yes. How many presentation or I don't know canalizados obtained in 2022? Okay. For example, in sorry, in Yucatan, if appear here, no. In this table doesn't appear Yucatan, but appear another state where is more common. Oh well, maybe they combine in the city. But well, that those outcomes is the same like the first table. Yes, follow it. But well, I don't find Mérida, for example. Mérida. Mm, well, I don't know what happened. Why? Maybe those cities is because they were who got a lot of presentations in that year. Those states, yes. So that I don't lose my time in this table. But well, I told you, if you want to revise for more detail this PDF, you need to go to Micrositio. Put on Google Micrositio INM, Instituto Nacional de Migración. Yes, that website, official website, gives you the option to revise migration statistic. Well, you find the page, but what I'm going to show you before to finish this YouTube live. Okay. Well, look at this. The next table is eventos, the same event for people who they were an immigration status irregular in Mexico in 2022. But this table is for nationalities. Yes, know this your um, nationality. For example, appear Canada, Estados Unidos, Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, y all the countries. Yes, you need to. That is the point. Very well. Maybe I'm going to pay more attention. For example, in America del Norte. America del Norte, um, for example, is in general in Mexico. Yes, but in this year, in 2022, in January, they presented 83 American people like presentations. Y for that situation, they canalizaron American people, 30 American people. Okay, in January. In February, it's completely different. It's lower. In March, the same. April, yeah, the same result. May, the same. In June, raise until 79. And well, all the years, yes. That well, maybe this, no, maybe this information gives you the knowledge that in January, February, March, the immigration officer work hard to presentate people. But for example, let's say, yeah, Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos is the United States in English. But well, the total. I'm going to show you the total. For example, in 2022, in 2022, Instituto Nacional de Migración, National Migration Institute, Mexican, presented 833,300 American people. However, people who maybe they fall in certain categories, they were canalizados to 54. Do you see that? Canadian people is completely different. It's more lower. Yes. Well, it's understandable because, well, your United States is completely close to my country. And very well, this table gives you a lot of information. It's completely understandable about Latin America, South America is more common for Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, because is there exists a lot foreign people in the from those countries. Well, it's completely stable. Maybe European. Europea is more different. For example, here, um, Romani people, a ver, for example, France. Look at this, France. France is far to my country, complete far. It's normal. The outcome is completely different than American people. For example, France people. Yeah, I got France. Okay, France people or French people in 2022, they were presented in immigration and immigration station 44, and only 8 French people were canalizados. You see that? In Mexico really happened. Anything. Don't believe in that sentence. In Mexico, everything is possible. In Mexico, doesn't happen anything. Those statistics show you that in Mexico happen everything. This institute works in apply their duty. Yes, look at this. This is no well, you know that because look at this. Is this information is for Gobierno de México, Mexican government. Gobernación, Secretaría de Gobernación, the Governation Secretary is an institute here in my country. There is the boss about Instituto Nacional de Migración. Well, who made this statistic? Well, that statistic made for Unidad Política Migratoria. I don't know, Migratory Politic Unit. Registro e identidad de personas. Register and people identity. Yes? No. Okay. Another point is, well, it's the same here, but well, the difference is in in which state or city American people, for example, they were presented. Yes. For example, Tapachula, Chiapas, 11 American people were presented. Another example is, I don't know, another common place, more famous place here, for example, Mazatlan. In Mazatlan, it's completely different. Yes, yes, no, yes, American. And where is this one? Is the second. Mhm. Mhm. In Mazatlan, only one American people was present in the immigration station. Yes, but well, another state, for example, look at this in Benito Juarez, in Quintana Roo, which is very close to Yucatan, 18 American people were presented. This is very interesting for you. Maybe if you catch the idea, you need to know that in those places, immigration office work hard. Yes, for example, in Iztapalapa and present day, American people 38. But in Mexicali is a city frontier to USA. Yes, well, it's completely normal. But in this case, they were or immigration staff presented 81 American people. But in Tijuana, another city who is close to USA, presented 18100. In Hermosillo, it's Sonora. Sonora is close to USA. Presentate 44. Igual Centro, Tabasco. And Tabasco, look at this, Tabasco, 29. Another country. For example, France. France. Mm, well, I take those countries because I use them in the last tables. No, I going to follow that. But well, France maybe in Mascupan, Tabasco. In well, it's a longer table. Well, another is Mascupan, Tabasco. in Catasaja, Chiapas. Look at this, Catasaja is a place when working more hard. Others means another cities who they immigration office they didn't add in this table. Yes, but well, it's 27 and French people who they were presented. Okay, and let's go to show the last table about a system return or deportation. Okay, this is my last table in this you know statistic migration statistic 2022. There are a lot of information. So maybe you need to revise the real situation to happen in my country. It's important for you and revise this information. For example, this table is not the last, but it's important for me to show you. And the table is eventos de personas devueltas por la autoridad migratoria mexicana según entidad federativa. Is event for return people who foreign people who they were returned to their own country for Instituto Nacional de Migración. Okay, that's the table. But what is the point in this table? Look at this. You need to know which state work hard about immigration office. Chiapas, in Quintana Roo, is 20, 25, but well, in this case, in the total is 18 and a 1500 people who they were returned in their own country. Yes. And another common place for look at this Yucatan here and for 2900 people they were returned in their own country in 2022. Yes. Find your stay when you live right now nowadays. Look at this how your Instituto Nacional de Migración works because this information say you hey don't be overestimate in the rules about Mexican migration. Don't overestimate the Mexican migration because really happens. Return people in their own country. Jalisco, look at this. Yucatan were more than Jalisco because Jalisco, who is very common for foreign people, is 33100. So, better. Yes, that is my last. And people who return in their own country for Instituto Nacional de Migración, the examples in 2022 and 53900 American people were returned in their own country in 2022. That means that Instituto Nacional de Migración works to follow the rules about Mexican migration law. I explained you in the beginner. Assisted return or maybe an oficio de salida. Yes, but well, those outcomes would be assisted return, oficio de salida, or deportation. That's the point. In this case, they only explain this table explain um, the outcomes about foreigners who they were um, you know, come back their own country in 2022. France in 2022. Look at this. Only. Oh, sorry. Drink water. France, only 5 people in 2022. Maybe it's no more common. Well, it's understandable because France is far away to my country. Mm. Yes, the last table who I'm going to show you is this one. Yeah, this is the last table. Okay. hmm This one. In the next immigration statistic, I'm going to show you this table directly in this table. Okay, because I don't want to lose more time. This due to life is longer. Maybe you need to you need to go to rest, no? Well, I need to go to rest because tomorrow I need to work. For example, this table is completely important because show you eventos de deportation event, retorno asistido, assisted return, who I explained with you before, and yes, another option is retorno asistido de niñas, niños o adolescentes. Assisted return from boys, girls, or adolescents. Adolescents, yes. Yes, in this case, what is the point? For example, in 2022, follow the same countries. Look at this. In 2022, deportate to 379 American people. Deportate. Do you see that? Instituto Nacional de Migración. Apply deportation. No matter what is your nationality, they need to follow the Mexican migration law. However, it's important for you don't hear certain foreigners who they say in Mexico doesn't exist the word deportation. In Mexico, they don't deportate people. They don't deportate American people. They don't deportate Canadian people. They don't deportate any nationality. But you need to know this is the outcome. This is the result for that institute, not for another institute outside to my country. This information is inside my country by Instituto Nacional de Migración, Politic Migration Unit. Do you see that? Please be careful and hear certain advice because I hear always in certain advice in different channels who people say, hey, overestimate your tourist visa, overestimate your residency. No, in Mexico doesn't happen nothing. Instituto Nacional de Migración, they don't deportate you because maybe you are Spain people, because you are a Russia people, or you are American people, or you are no. That situation works here in Mexico. But yes, in Mexico happen deportations, no matter what your nationality. But if they cast you, you will fall into deportation or assisted return. Please be careful because it's happened. It's happened. Or does it happen? Okay. The next country, for example, France. In France, maybe it's not the same than America, than United States because it's normal. The country is more, it's far away. But look at this. In 2022, deported two French people. Yes, and three French people were assisted return. Do you see that? Do you see that? It's important for you. Look information, guys. Honestly, look information. It's important, important, important. And I'm going to show you another, the next migration statistic 2023. I'm going to be more quickly here because I don't. Is wow, 1 hour, almost 2 hours. This and and life. I know it's crazy. Sorry. The indice. I need to seek the indice because the indice gives me the page. What is the correct page? This is 2023. Okay, 2023. But my important is this one. Personas en situación migratoria irregular. People in immigration status irregular is 14700. I go to the last table because I told you if you want to revise those information before to finish this live, I'm going to give you the link of. If no, I'm going to um, put those information in in the comments. Okay. Um, well, yes, this is interesting because look at this event of people who they were returned in their own country in 2023. Yes, look at this is from 54,000 in total people who they were returned in their own country. And that were the last. I need to find this one. Well, is this one? Yes, because it's for nationalities. And give me a second. Perfect. Okay, the same table, but in this case is 2023. Okay, in 2023, what happened? The same countries. In 2023, oh wow, yes, um, yeah, is almost the same because, for example, in 2022, I don't know if you remember, in 2022, deportation for American people it was 379,000, yes, in 2022, but in 2023 is um, and left is the same 354 hundred. Yes, is more or less remove 20 people. Yes, and 25 people. Yes, 25 people. Yes, 25 people, but in this case, 354 deportations in 2023 in this year. That means that immigration office or Instituto Nacional de Migración made their job. Yes, they work hard to be careful for it. Okay, in France, for example, in France in 2023, maybe it's more less, I don't know. Is the three este, ah, yes, in France, in this case, only no, there aren't deportation for French people, only assisted return to French people. They were returned. Okay, it's interesting. But well, is not the same than oficio de salida. Oficio de salida is almost than assisted return. But well, in this case, as oficio de salida is the same than assisted return. I repeat again. But what is the point? Who maybe immigration office give you? Okay, well, look at this. You doesn't fall um, in those categories. You don't fall into those categories. Well, my recommendation for you, if you don't want assisted return and you want to live in this country for your own resources, okay, I give you this oficio de salida. Oficio de salida is, that's mean. Look at this, in this table appear that oficio de salida. What do you mean oficio de salida? According this information is the number 3 is hace referencia al documento administrativo a partir del cual se informa a la persona con un procedimiento administrativo que su salida de la estación migratoria o del albergue. Ok. Ah. Mhm. Okay, yes, that is the point. Is when they give you okay, you need to return to the country. I give you that oficio de salida, or because okay, you need to leave about this immigration station. Well, that point mean that look at this. In well, American people, Canadian people, um, 1500 got an oficio de salida. Yes. Well, in those cases, only 33 got an oficio de regularización migratoria. Okay, what does mean that they got another option to regularize their status. Yes. Well, yeah, no information. But what does mean? In this case, it's more. Yes, because it's another option. And for example, in France, look at this, is more raised, is higher because look at this in France, and French people got oficio de salida 3,250 French people obtained their oficio de salida. You see that? Completely different. What do you mean? La información se refiere a eventos de migrantes extranjeros a quienes se les otorgó una opción de salida diferente a la deportación, retorno asistido o expulsión. What do you mean? The information explain about, foreigners, mm, foreigners, even foreigners who gave another option apart to deportation, assisted return, or expulsion in my country. If that option is an oficio de salida. Okay, let's go for your own resources. I don't give you an assisted return, I don't give you deportation, but yes, I give you an oficio de salida because you have 1 day, 2 days, 3 days to leave from Mexico. That's mean oficio de salida. Of course, it's more because it's normal. But in general, oficios de salida is 518,000. It's mucho. Many people, many foreign people who got oficio de salida. Well, the last bulletin, the last migration statistic, because this is almost later. Um, 2024. 2024. Let's go to show you 2024. Is the number 14200. Okay. Okay, and this is the table. Um, okay, this is 2024, the table for people who they got deportation or assisted return. Look at this. In this case, it's more or less. Doesn't appear Canada, only United States. And here doesn't appear Fra- France, for example. Maybe nobody got on deportation in this year. But well, this point is American people in 2024, 166, 166 American people got their deportation. Yes. And 33 got an assisted return. Do you see that? It's more or less, well, what do you mean that the Immigration Office, Instituto Nacional de Migración, works hard, works in apply this rule, this law, Mexican migration. Yes, well, let's go to show you maybe in the oficios de salida, give me a second, oficios de salida. Lewis is this one. Okay, in this case, oficios de salida is completely different. You know the mean. I mean, could Instituto Nacional de Migración give you another alternative than assisted return or deportation? Yes, in this case, appear Canada for 46 oficios de salida. But United States, American people got 9,400. Is understandable more than deportation because deportation, you know, it is when immigration is, you know it, immigration office give you a deportation, you are not able to return again because you got an period time in don't enter in my country. Yes. Y well, this oficio de salida is the most common who people who maybe who they say you, hey, immigration office catch me, if they return me well, maybe they got an oficio de salida, they go to their own country and ask to return again. Yes, in those people they say, yeah, look at this, deportation doesn't exist. I can come as many as easy here in this country because deportation doesn't exist. But don't confuse it. Deportation is another alternative. It's dangerous for your immigration background here in my country. Okay, and let's go to show you if I don't know France appear. Look at this. France appear in this case is 38 French people were obtained their oficio de salida. In this case, here appear French people. They didn't get a deportation, but they got an oficio de salida, and it's 38. But well, that's it, guys, about this and longer due to life. Honestly, I'm sorry if I take more a longer time for you. But well, guys, it was important for me to show you this information because I told you my intention is broken that wrong advice for any foreign people, resident people who they say, hey, in Mexico doesn't happen nothing. You see the accurate information right now. Instituto Nacional de Migración deportate people and explain with you the difference between deportation and assisted return or oficio de salida. Yes, don't believe in those kinds of information who they say, hey, I got a deportation, but look, the next day, return Mexico again. But you know why, procedure they apply, maybe an assisted return or maybe an oficio de salida. Because deportation is dangerous for you. Deportation you terminate you in return in Mexico again. And you know it. I don't want to repeat again. But well, guys, thank you so much for stay here with me for arrive in the end in this YouTube live. I hope this information helped you a lot in the know the correct information. Guys, please, if you want to help me, please, don't forget to subscribe in this channel because believe me, this I do the best to share accurate information. I do the best and and show you about Mexican migration, Mexican culture, and certain behaviors, Mexican behaviors here. Well, this you know it. English is not my mother language, but well, I do the best. I do the best to give you the accurate information because my intention is broken that wrong advice for another kinds of people who they give you dreams, wrong dreams about Mexican migration, because you know right now in this YouTube life, Instituto Nacional de Migración works hard to assist the return for deportation or for oficios de salida. And well, you know by now, what do you mean any those options? Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, again, don't forget to subscribe in this channel. Well, see you in the next one. Nos vemos en la próxima transmisión. Hasta pronto.